Vickery. Welcome to this week's episode of Brave in Action. As you can see, hi, Chris Davis. I am not in my studio. In fact, I am in Dallas, Texas for the Podcast Movement Conference. In my room, the lighting sucks, and I'm super sorry. I was just telling my Instagram folks that I forgot to bring my tripod. So I have everything stacked up on books and even have my phone like propped up in my glasses case, and the lighting is not great. So I really apologize for that. But I'm so glad that you guys are here, and I am glad that I was able to prioritize setting aside time in my conference schedule to be here with you for this week's episode of Brave in Action, because you guys, this is a really, really important topic. Oh my goodness. I want to talk to you today about self-compassion. And this has been an ongoing learning journey for me. There is so much bravery in choosing self-compassion. I know you all, and I know your hearts, and you're so compassionate towards one another. But how often do you turn that compassion internally, inside, to love yourself in that way, to give yourself grace, to give yourself permission to feel all of the things that you feel? How often are you kind to yourself, forgiving to yourself? So the title of this, I called it Feelings Aren't Facts. And newsflash, they're not. They're not facts. They're just feelings. And when we can learn to accept them, honor them, experience them, but not judge them. Oh, I'm feeling sad. I'm feeling lonely. I'm feeling angry. I'm feeling happy, but maybe I'm not supposed to be happy because everybody else I know is frustrated and sad or whatever, right? I remember this coming up in early onset in the pandemic, and I was doing gratitude circles and gratitude shares. And I got a lot of pushback from people who felt like they shouldn't feel grateful because so many people were experiencing such extreme trauma and death and illness. And I want to remind you that your gratitude, your self-compassion does not take away from the compassion you have towards others. It doesn't take away from the fact that other people are struggling. You can be affirming and loving and kind and supportive to people who are struggling while still grateful and compassionate towards yourself for things that are going well. Hey, Donnie Brown, nice to see you. How are you feeling, friend? My friend Donnie has not been feeling well, and he is in Dallas, and I'm hoping to get to see his cute little face this week. We'll see how that goes. I got crazy hair, y'all. Okay, so I have been on a long journey with self-compassion with the Intentionally Brave Entrepreneurs program with lots of one-on-one clients. We studied Kristin Neff's original work. Do you guys know Kristin Neff? She's literally the scientist who wrote the book on self-compassion. What is self-compassion? Why is it important? Why is it impactful? How can it change your life? And I highly recommend it. It comes with a great workbook as well that helps you sort of get into practice with all of these things. She's got some new work out, and I'm in the process of learning this. This book is called Fierce Self-Compassion. So regular self-compassion is a tenderness piece. So here's some really cool science behind it for those of you who don't already know it. Your brain cannot tell the difference between your own kindness towards yourself and somebody else's. So that goes for things like calming yourself down, right? If it calms you down when other people, excuse me, when other people, sort of pet you, rub the back of your neck. This is one that I really like a lot when I'm feeling really stressed and I need someone to be compassionate with me. I do this. Your brain does not know that you are the one giving yourself gentle touch versus somebody else. Your brain doesn't know, right? When something stressful happens and you react in a normal way, you have the ability to say, that's okay, Heather. You're human. Humans get frustrated. They get upset. They get angry. It's okay. Your brain doesn't know if your friend, your colleague, your partner, your kids said that nice thing to you, or if you did. It has the same neurological effect. It stimulates your parasympathetic nervous system. And it is really, really important. I have this hilarious story. This was a couple of years ago, and I had really just gotten into practicing self-compassion and putting it into play, like in my life. And I was driving my then 14, 15-year-old daughter around, and we almost got in a car accident. Somebody almost hit us. And I was so furious. I was pissed. I was like, God damn it, this motherfucker almost killed my kid. Blah, blah, blah. And then I instantly like went into self-compassion mode. And I'm like, you know what, Heather? It's absolutely normal to be upset and angry that this person potentially put your life and your child's life in danger. You're not a bad person for being upset. It's okay. It's okay to be upset. And I said these things out loud, and my daughter goes, I didn't say anything. I'm like, I know, darling. I know you didn't, but I'm just giving myself a little self-compassion, right? I'd like to be really hard on myself right now that I forgot good lighting and that I forgot my tripod stand. And so I can't really talk to YouTube and Facebook at the same time that I talk to Instagram. And I always feel bad when I do that. And I go back and forth and people are like, who the fuck are you looking at? And I know that the lighting is not good on Instagram and I feel bad about that, but also I'm only human. And sometimes I forget things. And also I still showed up. I'm still here spending this time with you. And I need to give myself a lot of compassion for that. So traditional self-compassion is about tenderness. Fierce self-compassion, which I think specifically speaks towards women or minorities. Fierce self-compassion is when you sort of let that inner mama bear come out. That is also a form of compassion. Sticking up for yourself is a form of self-compassion. Being vulnerable is a form of self-compassion. Saying no firmly is a form of self-compassion. And honestly, this work, y'all, this work is not for the weak of heart. I started reading this on the flight here to Dallas, and there are lots of tears. I feel sorry for the person sitting next to me because I just was sort of like silent crying the whole time and highlighting things. And I didn't have my highlighter, so I like used my red pen. Can you guys see that? There's red pen lines everywhere. But I really love this. The fierce aspect of our nature is far from problematic. It is a superpower. Your fierceness, your fierce self-compassion is a superpower. It's something to be celebrated rather than something to be merely accepted with mindful awareness. And not only can we use this force to protect our children, we can also use it to protect ourselves, meet our own needs, motivate change, and engage in the work of justice. And it's just such a powerful, powerful concept. And they work together, yin and yang, tenderness, tender self-compassion, and fierce self-compassion. And I want you all to just sort of spend a little time thinking about how you would talk to a friend, how you would treat a friend, and then do you do those same things for yourself? And if you don't, why? Get really cozy with that question. Explore why. Why do you not treat yourself that same way? Is it because it feels weird? Is it because your parents didn't do that and you don't think that you should? Is it because you don't think you're worthy or valuable of that level of kindness and compassion? What is the reason? So then we can take that apart, because that, whatever your reason for not treating yourself compassionately, is a bullshit reason, you guys. So connect with me, send me a DM, send me an email, whatever the hell it is that you want to do, however you want to reach out to me, I will help you dismantle that, because there is no story valid for you to not give yourself self-compassion. There is no valid story for that. None at all. And then once you get into the practice, it starts by just being aware of your thoughts, your feelings, your actions, welcoming them without judgment, understanding them, and then using that information. So that's the 3 R's from the Brave method, right? Reassessment, reframing, resilience, reassessing it, using that information, reframing what it means, how it wants, you want to inform yourself moving forward. And then resiliency is do it again and do it differently, right? Show up again, show up differently. Remember, we empower ourselves when we show up. That's how we empower ourselves. When we show up, we empower ourselves. And it is game changing, truly, truly game changing. So I want you to just start with that really basic level. If you haven't looked at Kristin's basic self-compassion work, you should. She's got a great TED Talk out. all sorts of free mindfulness meditations, classes, things you can read. Go and check her out. But if you have some experience with it, I really encourage you to look at the Fear Self-Compassion book. And this is a book that we are going to use as a resource guide in the new program I have coming out in a couple of months. I'm super excited about it. It's a 16-week guided program that's designed to help you crack through whatever glass ceiling you've put up for yourself, right? Let's get you to the next level, personally and professionally, all across the board. I'm super excited about it. We're putting all the bells and whistles together right now. We're fine-tuning all of it right now. And I'm going to be opening up the wait list really soon. We have lots of additional support coming in from it. And this book is one of them. It's going to be, I'm so excited. The inspiration that came in for this new course, which doesn't have a name, which is why I'm calling it my 16-week course, because I haven't hit on the right name, but it was one of those divine downloads, right? I was sitting there one day and the whole thing came to me, and I had been spending months and months and months feeling blocked and uncreative, and I just started writing it out, and it felt so aligned, and I'm so excited to share it with all of you. And again, we'll open a wait list where you can get more information as we develop it soon. I promise. Really, really soon. Very excited about that. In the meantime, though, I want you to practice the self-compassion. This has been the toughest year of my life. 2022, from mid-January 2022, continuing on through now, has hands down been the hardest year of my life. Coming out was easier. Getting a divorce was easier. Being a parent to young kids was easier. This year has tried really hard to break me. And some days I feel really broken. In fact, this year, lots of days I feel really broken. I have clients and friends who reach out and they're like, Instagram tells me you're struggling. And it's true. And I appreciate those of you who choose to reach out, because my leadership approach, the way that I want to support and connect all of you as you move through your lives and embrace bravery, to me, this feels very brave, is to be honest about the fact that not every day is fucking fabulous. And I can still find gratitude on all of those hard days. And I can show myself compassion on those days. And sometimes it's tender and sometimes it's fierce, but I tap into that. And that has been what's gotten me through. And the work. I'm great when I'm working. I love being with all of you. I love being here and connecting. I love doing the podcast. I love promoting the books. I love the coaching. All of that is tremendous for me. It helps remind me of why I'm here and why I fight. But it doesn't mean every day is hard. And I want you all to know that, because when you come up to hard days, I don't want you to think you're broken. We feel those things. We experience those things. And so for now, I want you all to just remember that the most incredible form of love is via compassion. And you deserve to feel that for yourself and with yourself. And I hope you will do that. I really hope you will take the time to do that. So before we go, I'm about to do an interview here in my suite, actually, with my co-host of Was It Chance, Alan Seals, and Jay Klaus from Tweet 100 and Creative Elements. I'm super excited. It was really fun to meet Jay for the first time this morning in person here at the conference. But before we do that, I'm going to pull a Create Brave card. So for those of you who aren't familiar, the Create Brave cards are a deck of manifestation cards, helps to guide and source you through the next stages of your life. And I always pull one on Wednesdays to see what shows up for me for the week, to maybe see if it resonates with all of you. Hopefully that it does. I created this deck of cards with my wonderful, amazing friend, Rachel Swanson. She is a creativity coach, and I'm the Brave Method coach. And we combined our coaching, our insights, our hearts to create these cards. And she did all the artwork, and the artwork is so stunning. It also comes with a guidebook. So we've got the focus word, the affirmation, coaching guidance, and then what we call brave action tips. Create brave tips that you can go in and do right away. So let's see what this week's card is. And I don't know if you use cards, if you like tarot cards, affirmation cards, anything like that. For me, my method is I just shuffle until the card shows up. And there it did. Did you guys just see that? Did y'all see how that happened? The universe is weird, wonderful, wild, wacky. Like you never know. And the right card just shows up, and of course, it's always aligned. It's always the right card. Vulnerability. I'm going to get closer so y'all can see it. Vulnerability. And that's what we're doing today. Hey, Kyla, how are you? It's amazing to me how whenever I pull a Create Brave card on Wednesdays, and another one of my friends, Melinda, if Melinda watches, she always watches. I met Melinda through Kyla's Human Design Paradigm course, where we're getting certified in human design, which I love. We always laugh because it's always the right card. The right card always finds us every time. Every time. And for those of you who were here from the beginning of this conversation, vulnerability, that's where we went. I told you how hard of a year it's been. I'm really transparent about that, how I'm using compassion, both tender and fierce self-compassion to move through every moment of my life. It was very vulnerable. So what does this feel like for you? How does it sit with you? The color is a little off because of my crappy lighting in this hotel room. But when I am my truest self, I unlock connection and creativity. When I am my truest self, I unlock connection and creativity. So I'll just open this and read the book for you, which is funny. When I flipped through, of course, one of our cards is self-compassion, and it opened directly to that because the universe is wild like that. Vulnerability. When I am my truest self, I unlock connection and creativity. When you are vulnerable and expose your truest self, you shed the weight of expectations and personas. You are living in the moment with the freedom to be and feel exactly who you are. Not living authentically is deciding not to live at all. Instead, you can bring your truest self to any situation. People can tell when you are disingenuous. When you make real and meaningful connections with people by being yourself, then they can truly connect with you. By being vulnerable, you will open up and grow personally and professionally. This helps you achieve your goals and invent and build from a place of vulnerability because tremendous things are in store for you. And then here's the Create Brave prompt. How do you know when you're being vulnerable? What does it feel like physically, mentally, and emotionally? I tend to find I get out a whole emotional wash when I'm really showing up vulnerably, and I can feel that energy connect to the people on the other side, whether it's live, if I'm speaking, keynote speaking from a stage, if I'm just talking to people here at the conference, even digitally, virtually with all of you, I can feel that energy when I'm truly showing up as myself, and I can see it in the comments and the responses that come back, and it's just so impactful. How about for you? How do you know when you're feeling vulnerable, when you're being vulnerable? What does it feel like physically, mentally, and emotionally? How do you know when you're not being vulnerable and authentic? What does that feel like physically, mentally, and emotionally? Did you notice the differences between the two ways of being? So for me, when I'm not being vulnerable, I can tell that I'm guarded, I'm nervous, I'm short-tempered maybe, I want to get out quicker, right? Because I don't feel connected. And because somehow I am afraid of the people in the space, that they might harm me. But usually when we can bring those barriers down and we show our true selves, that's when the people want to come in and connect with us. Declare your intention towards approaching the next opportunity from a place of vulnerability. I declare mine to continue to show up vulnerably for the rest of this conference. I'm an introvert, believe it or not, and I'm a projector in human design, for those of you who know that, and I get really tired really fast, and I like to be invited, and these sorts of things are really challenging for me. So I really have to conserve my energy and be thoughtful and intentional about how I want to use it and who I want to connect with. And also there's this bizarre, like some of my friends, in fact, my co-host Alan for Was It Chance, he in advance, he goes through the list and he reaches out to people and he sets up interviews and he does all these wonderful things. And I kind of feel bad because I'm not going to do that. But for me, what really is powerful is choosing to show up in a space honestly, authentically, and vulnerably, and then go, okay, what's here for me? What do I feel drawn to? What do I feel connected to? And that works for me. So you've got to know yourself, right? Oh, I love that. Kyla says the cards are gorgeous. Thank you. If anybody wants a set of Create Brave cards, I have them. I don't have them here in Dallas, but I can send them to you. You can go to vickeryandco.com/social. It'll tell you where to get these, or if you want to get a copy of my book, Fuck Fearless, or a copy of either of my gratitude journals, Shift Your Focus or Grow Grateful, you can do that. The cards really are gorgeous. We were really thoughtful about how we had them made. The box is lovely. It's magnetic. The cards are nice and thick, beautiful, painted, glittered edges. Like they're really special. I love having them near me. I travel with them always because they just, I don't know, they feel really special. And it's a great way to sort of shift your energy and shift your mindset. I challenge you, if you have a deck of these cards, I challenge you to think about how you can practice tender and fierce self-compassion with a deck like this. Like if you're really struggling with your self-compassion, you could pull a card and say, now, how can I relate this to my self-compassion? It's kind of a fun little hack. All right, folks, I am getting ready to roll into an interview for Was It Chance, which we will air here in a few weeks. I'm super excited to share it with you. Thank you for being here with me. This is Heather Vickery reminding you today and every day to go out and choose bravely. Bye now.